I'm Jamie, the creator of ClothCuties.com, a site designed to encourage you to cloth diaper your babies. From an infant through the toddler years, I got the tips and tricks you need to simplify your cloth diapering experience. What's up, guys? Oh my goodness, today is going to be such an excellent video. You are in for a treat because we have another cute chat. And what I love most about cute chats is that you get to be a fly on the wall with the conversations that I am having with some amazing people. Y'all, this is my first group cute chat. You know, in the past, I've only done it with one person interviewing one mom to tell their story about cloth diapering. But today, I'm talking to 3. Yes. Before we get into this cute chat, I have to remind you that we just launched a digital guide to all 20 of the Black-owned cloth diaper businesses that are on the market today that you can go and support right now. Make sure you click the link below this video and get your copy. It's completely free. All you have to do is drop in your email address and you get an instant download. So do that right now. Pause this video, click that link, and then come back and join us for an amazing cute chat. Are you ready? Get ready, because here's who's coming to the show. First up, we have Deja of Shine Cloth. I've been wanting to get her on a cute chat for a minute, and it has finally happened. The second person we have on the cute chat is Destiney of Cultured Diapers. Y'all, I am in awe of what she's building. We're so aligned on so many different things, including being in the only sorority that matters, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And finally, but definitely not least, we have Jade of Krunchy Kulture returning to the cute chat. Y'all, this chat is about to be dynamic. We're going to talk about so many things, including representative cloth diapering and why it's so important. So sit back, buckle up, and let's get into this conversation. Hey, Cloth Cuties fam, I am ecstatic today because I get to bring you a cute chat with 3 other amazing women, amazing cloth diaper brands. And let me just kick it off and tell you who these people are. Right below me is Deja from Shine Cloth, all the way from California. And then from Detroit, Michigan, right? Am I getting that right, Destiny? I got it right. Okay, so from Detroit, we got Destiney from Cultured Diapers, and Jade right here. Oh, this way. Jade right here from Louisiana with Krunchy Kulture. So, guys, thank you for joining me today. It's gonna be an amazing chat, y'all. You people watching this don't even know like what a big deal this is to. We have the cloth diaper market has grown so much, and Deja, I'm sure you can like give us a total history and breakdown because you were one of the OGs in this thing. But the cloth diapering market has expanded so much, and we have so many Black-owned businesses. So it was only right, in my opinion, that in Black History Month, like we do a cute chat and just like share the love because that's what this is all about. Okay, so I'm gonna hush up and let you guys start chiming in here. We're gonna kick it off with a softball question. So, Jade, I'm gonna let you go last. I'm gonna let you think about it. But so tell me, just pick one, your favorite cloth diaper style. Go, Deja, you first.
Okay, I'll have to say a cover. It's hard though. It's hard.
We might have to do a breakdown on why this is a hard choice.
Yeah. Covers because they are versatile and you can use them with a bunch of different options. But I have to say I'm a little partial to all-in-ones too. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'll just say covers because that's like my number one, but it's a hard split though.
Okay. I'll let you make it. All right, Destiny, what's your favorite?
Oh, of course, hands down covers. I have to agree with Deja. The versatility. I love that they're wipeable. The families love them. That's hands down my favorite of all time. I used to love pockets like so much. I used to always do pockets, but yeah, the covers they got me in a bunch.
All right, Jade, what is your favorite style of cloth diaper?
I guess covers because of versatility, but it's very close to my pockets because I mean the comfort enrolled elastic pockets for a baby is just, it's unbeatable if you're using something with TPU or PUL. Like, that's my close second. It's a hard competition though. But I love flats, so I have to say covers because flats,
Because flats and covers go together like peanut butter and jelly. So
Exactly.
if I had to pick one, I'm actually going to be controversial, and I guess Deja kind of mentioned this, but I'm going to go with all-in-ones. Like that was my intro into cloth diaper, and like we about to do this real easy. Like, give me one piece, okay? I'm gonna have to watch these things. Call me basic if you want to, but I need one piece.
I get it. No stuffing at that, it's just so easy. I get it.
Yes. Okay, ladies. So when you go around this time, let's tell the people who you are, a little bit about your business, and tell me why you chose cloth diapering for your baby and to go into this business. Destiny, you want to start it off?
Yes. So my name is Destiney Mohammed. I am the founder and CEO of Cultured Diapers. See, I got my little handy stuff up here. We are a retro themed cloth diaper brand with a mission to normalize cloth diapers in underserved communities. I actually don't have children, but I am a birth worker. So I really started off in 2014. I was a volunteer birth doula, and I was a broke college student. So I was like, yeah, I need to make something to give to them because I can't afford to buy stuff or for a bunch of baby showers. And so stumbled upon cloth diapers, made a gift, and there you have it. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's an amazing story.
Mm-hmm.
That's very unique. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jade, tell us about Krunchy Kulture and what got you into cloth diapering.
I started cloth diapering 9 years ago. It was a financial thing and environmental. I like the idea of not having the chemicals on my babies, but not having diapers sitting in landfills and saving money, which, I mean, back then I actually ended up saving money because I didn't go crazy with it. But the whole point of me starting my business is because I wanted to bring more representation, more options for Black families, because trying to find a diaper with a Black mom and a Black baby on it is like finding a needle in a haystack. And the comfort factor, because my baby was just as chubby as she wanted to be, and there weren't many road elastic options with Black children on them. So here we are. That's where we started, and I feel like we're fulfilling that purpose.
Yes, for sure. And Deja, the original in this group, come on, tell us about your cloth diapering business and how you got into cloth diapers.
I cloth diaper my son 11, almost 12 years ago. Ooh, he's getting big. And I stumbled upon cloth diapering when my son got a chemical burn from a disposable diaper. And it was a sample. I had gotten it in the mail. We were low on diapers. And I was like, I'm going to use a sample real quick because it's in the diaper bag and I don't have to like go and buy diapers. He got a chemical burn and I started looking into alternatives. He had really, really sensitive skin from the start. So that kind of just exacerbated my search to like go as natural as possible. I found cloth diapers, bought one, and then fell down the rabbit hole of like working home mom diapers. And I realized that it was a market that was saturated with everybody but Black people. And I followed this one Black working home mom. She was the only business. Her name is Nova, and she ran Nova Fluff. I always plug her just in case she ever sees it because she's like the true OG. And I watched her journey, and I decided, let me see if I can sew cloth diapers. And I made one, and I haven't stopped. 11 years later, I'm still sewing. And so cloth diapering for me was a means to an end of a struggle with, sensitive skin in my son. And it turned into this passion project where uplifting my community is like the first and foremost concern. So yeah, that's me. That's my story. That's how I got here.
I love it. And you taught me something new. I didn't know about Nova Fluff. I had never heard of that brand. So I'm going to have to dig into them. And, I need to update my Black on cloth diaper business video. But thank you guys for sharing that because y'all all kind of touched on something that I think is super important. And that's that this industry is pretty It's pretty bland, but we have totally come and shaken it up, giving it some color, some personality, some representation. And so I think that's super important. And Jade, I wanted to start with you because one of the things you mentioned is having representative diapers. And why do you think it's so important, especially in 2022, that little black babies see or have access to prints that have their faces on them?
Not just little black babies. I think as parents, it helps to see ourselves and what we're putting our babies into. It's important because it helps them identify themselves as part of this world and mattering in this world, and in recognizing that there are children on these diapers that don't look like them. It's like, well, who am I? When I first started cloth diaper, my 2-year-old, she potty trained herself before her second birthday, but while she was in diapers, I found a diaper that had a black mom and it had diversity on it, and they were breastfeeding moms, but it wasn't just black moms, which is fine. I was excited to find that diaper. And then I realized, there's diapers with just white characters, or there's a mixture, but there's none with just us really out there, And if it is, it's hard to find. So that kind of pushed me to say, I want to see something with just us on it. And that's what I'm doing. And I know that, I'm not the only one now. Well, not now, but I'm not the only one doing it. And I'm excited that you're showing us how many other companies, how many other small businesses, Black-owned businesses are out here doing the same thing. But that's pretty much the reason. I feel like, even for myself, seeing representation on packaging of items, mothering items or parenting items is important. So of course it's important for our kids.
Absolutely. And Deja, to that point, like I was thinking back the other day, I was editing another video and I realized that I said something along the lines of, we had an extremely bland stash. And at the time, this was before like George Floyd and before people were like really like, all right, I'm identifying as a Black owned business so that you can support me if you're looking for Black owned, diverse owned, women owned businesses. But it was so hard to like, that wasn't like a Google search term back in the day, and like how much, my stash could have been so much better, like in terms of quality, in terms of print, if like I had been able to find like a Black owned business, and if I knew about Deja sooner, right? Because that's what I think about. Like you have been here, like had long staying power. But what do you think, especially coming from where you've gone up until this point in time, how has being representative like made you really stand out and shine with your cloth diaper business?
I would have to say it's been a journey for my brand as well in the cloth diapering community, because when I created diapers initially, I created what sold. So I created what people asked of me. And a lot of times what people asked of me were galaxy and sugar skulls and rainbows and camo diapers with deers and antlers, John Deere diapers. I've made just about a little bit of everything. And it took me going through my own like awakening to see like, something isn't right here. And so I started to really like look at what our offerings were in the community. And I was just like, I think we need to switch things up a little bit. And so I just started to slowly implement the designs into my business. And as I did, the amount of Black parents that came out and were like, I didn't know this was here. I didn't know you were here. And the overwhelming support that I received just showed me that there is a deep desire to be reflected in every single part of life. Like we set a standard in the US, but in the world culture already. So we should be the standard on packaging. Representation shouldn't be a conversation. It should just be a thing. And so that became a part of how I created. So most of the time I don't center anybody on my social media but us. And I do that purposefully because I want to make sure that we are the standard. We set the standard. because a lot of times we do.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking about that the other day because I'm like, historically going back, I'm pretty sure we had something to do with like how we came upon this diaper style into like whenever I was at a distillery, and this lady said whenever something just random pops out the air and it's from like the 1800s, you can pretty much just say black people put that into the culture, because if it just popped out the air, it didn't pop out the air, right? And so I think that's the same in cloth diapering. Like nothing just pops out there, and we are such front runners, such culture, enhancers. We steer culture, like you said. So I just think it's so important. And Destiny, to that point, like even with your brand, like just being a retro centered brand, like you're steering culture in that way, and even reminding us of how fun the 90s were. So tell us about like how you're making your statement and making your mark over there.
Initially, it was really like somewhat of a Black Lives Matter type, feel, or re-Africanization, as I will put it most of the time. When I was in college, I majored in African American studies. And so that was sort of like the forefront or the center of what I was really into. Proud liberal and all that good stuff. And then recently I was like, I really need to get more into like what defines me and my blackness, my personal blackness. And as I was saying to you earlier, I'm a huge Bobby Brown fan and old school fan. I love old school music. Everybody calls me the grandma, and oh God, you always playing the Johnny Taylor and all this, throwback music, even though that's not 90s. And I just really like sat and reflected, like, what does my brand look like for Black people of, a younger age who may be, going into retro things, or, embracing retro and heritage in that type of way. And so I kind of came up with like this 90s things, like what would happen if you threw 90s stuff on a diaper? Sort of how I felt when I first started Cultured Diapers, like, okay, what would happen if you threw Kente on a diaper? And that's kind of how it came about. And then the brand just really started forming. It's only been not even a year yet, because I launched it in March, and it's like forming. I'm like, oh, I can add this. And, it becomes more of a, I don't know, like a arts movement type thing, where it like incorporates like the music and the prints and like the literature and education and all that stuff that kind of goes with it. So that's kind of how I define Cultured Diapers and where it's going in this industry, because it does feel like it's a subsidiary. But I have noticed other cloth diaper brands are going into like a retro feel, and that's always fun to see and view. Like, oh, okay, like, okay, what can we throw in there? Like, how can we add Family Matters or Tupac or whoever?
But that helps keep a lot of our culture and history alive. I mean, like these younger kids won't ever know who Tupac is, but they'll remember like a diaper that they used to have that their mom had stashed away, like,
Yeah. And
20
it's
years from now.
nostalgic for the 80s and 90s baby. I can't leave the 80s babies out, but it's nostalgic.
Don't leave us out.
Please don't.
No, I love that. So why would you say, and ladies, anyone who wants to take a stab at it. So why do you feel like in educate, because I have a deep feeling that more Black families would cloth diaper if they knew about it, and if they knew how simple it could be, and if really it's just an education thing, an education gap, an access gap that's preventing more Black families to move to cloth diapers. What would you say to a Black family that's considering that's just like, girl, like our grandmas did that, but like, tell me more if you're gonna tell me, but like, what would you say to that type of mom?
I can take it. I guess for me, I would say, here's a cloth diaper. Kind of what I talked about, how I started. I didn't really notice that there was an educational gap. I really was just trying to make a cute little gift. And then when I would go on my postpartum visits, it was like, oh yeah, so what do I do with this diaper? I guess it's a diaper, like they'll be turning it around and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you don't know how to use it. I guess it just kind of didn't occur to me, even though like for me, I knew that I didn't know that aspect. But for the moms, I just figured like, oh yeah, you practicing on your babies all the time, so you just kind of automatically know. But my business kind of started turning into like these demonstrations. Like, yeah, so tell me, how do you use it? Like, what is this for, and how do you change this, and what do you add to it, and what do I need? And I was like, oh, there's a huge need for education. Like, even those parents who are, really well rounded, and they're always on baby center and all these different apps learning about it, it's almost like cloth diapering is non-existent. So for me, it's like, look, here's some education. Here is plug, shameless plug. Here's our sample box. There you go. Here's a sample diaper with some instructions on how to do it. And sort of like to plug Deja, like I love how Deja puts her TikToks. The TikToks are super simple way to show, this is how you use a cloth diaper. It's a huge need to educate families on cloth diapering, and I feel like in a lot of ways the industry is so shortened because we don't have that educational piece, because you have to get through the education in order to sell a lot of the times, depending on what community you in, specifically the Black community.
And Deja, did you want to take that? Because I wanted to get your take on that too. Because, like she
It's,
said,
it's
you
so,
do an amazing job with education.
yeah, it's so funny because that's the only thing I have written down is access. That's actually the only thing I really wanted to remember to talk about was access, because from doing TikTok, like, first off, Black people love seeing Black people on TikTok. So if you make it to Black people TikTok, it's probably one of the littest spaces ever right now. And I just love Black TikTok for myself, for personal use. And then so naturally I was like, okay, like, let me start talking about cloth diapers. And I know last year when Destiney and I collabed for Black History Month, one of the biggest things we talked about was the fact that there was such a gap of education. Like, people really don't know. And I think that in the cloth diapering community, there's this misnomer where it's like, no, they just don't want to use cloth diapers. No, they don't know. Mm-hmm. And so like the other day I posted a video about it wasn't the other day, it was like a month ago. I posted a video on how to like put on a cloth diaper cover over a fitting. A simple video. It had the jerking song in the background, like just like this simple video I took from one of my ambassadors. I clipped her clips together, 15 seconds, just showed how to pull a diaper cover up and snap it. Mm-hmm. And literally over 160,000 views. And there's just Black parents in the comments like, I want to do this, teach us how to do this. So that's why like education is my big focus this year, because there are parents out there that want to know, and then they're like, what's this thing on the baby's ankle? And so we start a whole thread about like amber teething necklaces and anklets, and they're like, well, where do we buy that? And then I was able to plug Crunchy Boutique, because I know they stock them. And so it was just like, access is huge, because then they start talking about teething necklaces and home births and breastfeeding. It's all in the comments, and it just starts this like free fall of like information. Like, you have choices. There are choices out here, and it's not like if you don't have to choose cloth diapers, but if you want to choose cloth diapers, there's a Black community here to support you, and we got you. We'll teach you all about it. We'll go, look, if you're local, we'll go to your house and we'll help you. We'll wear a mask because of COVID. But you know how we roll. Like, that as the community, that's how we roll. Like, come over to my house, I'll show you how to do it real quick. Like, that's how we roll. So I think that access is huge. Like, I'm learning every single day that like people want the information and they just need it.
Absolutely. And I was talking to my friend the other day, and she's also kind of like, to your point with, we say one thing about cloth diapering, but then it just kind of like dovetails into like, having natural births, breastfeeding, amber necklaces, like all these other things that it trickles down. And so she and I were talking about like just being almost like self-contained and sustainable, and like being able to like do everything within a community, basically. And that's really what I love about this moment, is because Black-owned businesses are doing like everything you could possibly want. Like, if you're not using the keywords Black-owned XYZ, like, you missing out. And not only are you missing out like on some amazing products, but even the level of products, like we, you can't say it like just across the board, but the level of excellence in the what we put into our products is just it's different. It's a different game. It's a different table. It's a different bar, and we're meeting it and exceeding it, and bringing people amazing products if they would just check them out. So I guess I wanted to talk about a little bit about sustainability and like being able to, you know, enhance our community ourselves, like with our Black owned businesses. Jade, I'll tag you in. Do you have any thoughts that come to mind on that? I realize that I used the wrong word and y'all can all tap in here, but I guess the phrase I should have used is being like self-sufficient, right? As a community.
I love that right now we have, like y'all said, buy Black. We can literally go out and say, I want to support only Black businesses for almost everything. And that's exciting to me. I make it a point to not support businesses who support Trump or support certain who are not, who fall on the opposite side of the spectrum as me. But to be able to go out and say, I'm going to buy all these products from Black owned businesses. I'm going to get my facial products. I'm going to get my self-care items. I'm going to get my diapers from only Black shops is amazing. And it's a social media has made this possible. Like 9 years ago, I didn't know Deja was out there making diapers, and now with us all seeming to be home because of COVID, we're online more. We're having, these conversations more online and seeing how many of us are out there with the vast options of products and education. And it's exciting to be a part of this, but just making it known and making it accessible is the main factor here.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. And so I guess to close out this kind of line of thinking, what do you think I know we have education, I know we have access, but what do you all think is the thing that can move the needle for having more Black parents jump into cloth diapering and be successful at it?
One thing that I've learned just working in maternal child health and like this whole birth sphere, I used to work for Black Mothers Breastfeeding Association as their program manager, really helping with a lot of the initiatives, helping with Black Breastfeeding Week and things like that. And so I was able to really learn from there, like how do you construct, for lack of better words, a crunchy mom? How do you get moms involved that's in the community, in the Black community specifically, to be a part of what's happening? And so I created this idea of having culture babes, where it's like, okay, we're going to normalize cloth diapers in the underserved community. So it's going to be, community driven. And so actually what we're talking about the same pillars: access, education, and the last piece that I want to bring forth is the storytelling aspect. Like the more and more we share stories about cloth diapering and the Black cloth diapering industry and community, the more that our moms know, the more that they know, the more they get involved. And just kind of that, I don't know, like that safe space. Like I'm in a lot of Black cloth diapering groups, and including Deja's group, shameless plug. And like you see these moms like, hey, I need help with X, Y, and Z. And then you see another mom like, oh, I've been through that. Here's what I did. Or here's what I did. So you have that group of community, and you have those stories that are being told about cloth diapering, because most of the time what people know is when I say, hey, yeah, I sell cloth diapers, it's like, oh, cloth diapers. Like, oh, so does the pen stick the babies? Like, oh, no. The modern day cloth diapers. Yeah, so I think it's based around storytelling, like not just the access and the education, but more importantly, the storytelling around cloth diapering.
That's really powerful. And I had not thought of that. That is a real powerful one. Jay, what were you going to say?
So when I cloth diapered my first cloth diapered baby, I bought my first set from Target. And I think that if it was a tangible thing that these parents could go in the store in Target, because I love Target, and pick them up and look at them and say, I can do this, it's less daunting. I think, like Destiney said, being in these groups and storytelling helps. And a lot of parents are not, they're not in necessarily groups that center cloth diapers. So I think it's a mind thing of where they are thinking of them in terms of the old style cloth diapers, and they're not thinking of it as something that is easily doable. And they're thinking, oh, I'm going to add so much laundry on top of what I already have, and it's really not that. I mean, I think if you can hold it in your hands and say, okay, this is actually not as difficult as I thought, that more parents would be into it. So I personally want mine to be in retail stores at some point, and I think that would definitely help to grow the amount of families we see in the crunchy community.
Absolutely. That is another good one. Destiny, I wanted to bring this back up because you said this, talking about constructing a crunchy mama. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I don't know that we can, like, I know Jade is a crunchy mama. I know I consider myself like a bit crunchy. I recycle most days, but not all days, right? Like I'm a bit crunchy. I do some crunchy things, but like thinking about like constructing a black crunchy mama, that actually sounds odd. And I don't know if that person exists. Deja, do you have any take on that?
I think we all have a little bit of crunchy in us, but I don't know if we all are like 100% crunchy. Like, I know I make sustainable choices the majority of the time, but there's some parts of me that are trash and I throw away trash and I use trash. Like, I say, like, I feel like Forky, I'm trash. Like, I just throw things sometimes away because of the convenience. And sometimes I'm like, no, I'm going to whip out my cloth pad stash. I'm going to boil my cup. I'm going to, like, I get really into it. So I feel like there's ebbs and flows. Like, as life goes on, I know a lot of people whipped their cloth diaper stash out during the quarantine because diapers were hard to find. And so I think that the community saw a huge influx of sales too in 2020, because of which, like, it was like, that it's time to be crunchy. So I feel like it comes in waves. We all have our one thing or our like few things that we're like committed to. Like, there's some people who are committed to clean beauty and eating clean, eating whole, like reusable everything, unpaper towels, all those things. And then there's some times in life where you're just like, no, I'm gonna have to buy that toilet paper because I'm just not feeling. So I feel like I have those moments where I'm just like throw it all away. And then I have moments where I'm just like, nah, we're gonna go to the thrift store. We're not going to Target for a new outfit. We're gonna go thrift. So I think it just, as life goes, you have your super crunchy moments, and then you have some where it's just like, throw it in the trash.
I think it's important to realize that it's really not all or nothing. You can be crunchy 5 days a week and the other 2 days you just trash. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Every little bit of crunchiness and every little bit of sustainability you're doing makes a difference, and it's definitely making the planet better for our children. Every diaper that's saved from the landfill is making a small difference, and those small differences add up. So
I also feel like it's this idea of like transformation. Like, one thing that I appreciated so much when I worked for BIMPA was like the breastfeeding club. I could see moms transition, and it's this little thing that I like to talk about, like living in transition, like lit, right? Where you start off, you're like, ew, I don't want that breastfeeding or cloth diapering, that's ew. And then all of a sudden, like, you're coming, you're getting the perks of it. You may get some free diapers at the end or whatever the case is. And then along the way, you start to become natural, natural hair. And then all of a sudden you start recycling, and then all of a sudden, like, you just get into like this whole cycle of transformation, which I think is like super duper cool. And I'm learning along the way, like, if you keep families in those spaces, in those spaces for transformation, and you keep them in touch with people like doulas. When I first became a doula, like, that was not a thing. It was 2 people in my class who were Black and everybody else was white, and we're servicing the Detroit community. And then now it's 2022 and everybody's Black. So I think it's it's a process and a transformation thingy or lit thingy, to creating eventually a crunchy mom.
You are so right about that. Both you and Jade and Deja, like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing, and you are allowed to grow, transform, and change your mind back. Because I mean, for example, Deja, to your point, I think what you guys are saying is so right because I have cloth pads, but then I also have honey pot pads, right? I have like you can do different things at different times and it can still all be good, all be working toward being a more sustainable lifestyle. And I also think about like how cloth diapering actually shifted my mind on a whole bunch of other things. So like I decided up front that like I was gonna have a midwife with my first child. So we were going through like a natural childbirth. And then like of course breastfeeding came after that. Then cloth diapering was like my quick next decision. Like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a whole, natural lifestyle, natural birth for this baby. And then conscious parenting comes along, right? Like gentle parenting, trying to do things better, communicate better than our parents did. But you're right, it's a transition, and life is full of transitions. So you have to embrace them when you can and ride the wave where you are at the moment, too. Grace, thank you for reminding us, Jay. We all need grace. You tell us what you're working on right now, and we'll go around the horn. And then while you're doing that, tell us where to find you, too.
I can be found at shinecloth.com, and that is spelled just like it sounds. On Instagram, I'm the.shine.cloth, and on TikTok, I'm shinecloth. Those are the only three I'm plugging because those are where I'm really active. And right now, I'm currently working on a top secret project. But something that I can share is I am working on building a manufacturing team. And so that's a big, big goal this year for me. Black owned, Black owned is the direction I'm going. And I want to build a manufacturing warehouse that looks like us, that doesn't only sell cloth diapers and service the cloth diaper community, but services the manufacturing world at large, really, and to do things in a sustainable way. I think a lot of times for especially business owners, I'm not going to say small business owners, when we're trying to grow, when we're trying to expand, we don't know where to go. And we don't know how to source, and we have a million conversations with a million people trying to find answers, and it can be a very frustrating process. So that is a big goal that I'm working on, and yeah, that's all I'm sharing.
That is super exciting, Deja. Like that's a huge deal. Because Destiny, tell us what you're doing over there and where people can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at cultureddiapers.com and culture diapers everywhere. Just remember it's a D at the end and an S at the end of diapers. I'm working on a few projects similar to Deja, and I know we talked last year when we collabed about this whole aspect of like manufacturing and things like that. So I too am working on something similar with developing the workforce here at specifically though at Culture Diapers. I don't know if I have the capacity just yet for everybody, but one day, or I can join forces with Deja. But yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm working on. And then I am working on a project with Cultured Babe. So I have my Culture Diapers box, which is, completely branded. And we just partnered with Sarah's House, which is a local nonprofit here that focuses on pregnant homeless teens and women in transition. And so I have volunteered, oh my gosh, like I want to say sophomore year in college. So it's been a few years with Sarah's House for their community baby shower. And so I decided to go back and do a workshop and give 75 of my boxes to the moms and do a demonstration to sort of introduce them to the cloth diapering world. They may like it, they may not. We'll see. So those are the two things that I've been currently working on.
Jade, okay, tell us again where people can find you and what you have going or cooking right now.
Okay, so on Instagram and on TikTok, it's crunchy.culture. Crunchy and culture both spelled with a K. And on Facebook, it's Crunchy Culture Chat is the group, and Crunchy Culture is the page. My website is crunchyculture.com with Ks. I have a few things that I'm working on. I too am an ideator. Destiny, like I have a billion ideas in my mind, and it's hard to settle and get one out. So I have a few things that I'm working on, but one of the things I just introduced, which I mean people are really in love with right now in general, are contours. So I've added those, and you know I love my hand-dyed everything. It's just what I do. It's what I love. So those things are on my site. Thank you. Yeah, I always get so excited when it's rinse day to rinse the stuff out and see what I've created, you know. But I have a few things that I'm working on that I want to introduce this year, new items, and that's it. Find me online. I mean, I've always got something that I'm trying to do.
Amazing. Well, ladies, I appreciate your time, and if no one has any parting words, we will wrap this up. Anyone have anything they want to say before we go?
Go Cloth.
Wow, wow, wow. So many nuggets were dropped in this conversation. You have to tell me in the comments below, what was your favorite nugget or takeaway that you got from this conversation? These ladies are amazing. What we're building collectively and doing in the cloth diapering community is certainly terrific and notable. So I'm excited to see where these businesses grow and take off to in the future. If you've been under a rock and you do not already know that we have a guide that I created especially for Black History Month of the 20, yes, there are 20 fabulous Black-owned cloth diaper brands in the cloth diaper industry. Make sure you click the link under this video and get your free digital copy of all the names. Like, yes, it's almost like a directory of all the Black-owned cloth diaper businesses that you can support across spectrum of diaper styles in 2022. There is something and someone to suit all of your cloth diapering needs. Make sure you click the link below and get your copy of Run the Yard, 20 Black-owned cloth diapering businesses that you can support this year. That's all we have for today, but y'all, that was a whole entree, so I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you never miss another video, and head over to clothcuties.com where there's more content to help you simplify your cloth diapering experience. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.